Now let's notice how beautiful this woman is and the fact that she's asymmetric. And the asymmetry has to do with a mole that she didn't remove from her face. So we can tell
how beautiful this woman is.
The mole that she didn't remove from her face.
you wouldn't be able to tell how beautiful this woman is but for the mole, whether you were looking at her or the mole. Okay.
How old are you?
What?
How old are you?
58.
Okay, you got me by 3 years.
What? Okay.
So we're good.
Notice how beautiful this woman is.
I saw what happened to Will Smith. I want to keep your wife's name out of my mouth.
No. You'll meet my wife. She's
I'm sure she's dope.
I'm sure she's dope.
Okay. I'm taller than Joe. I have an advantage on it in terms of height. This generosity of spirit, it's dead. And what you get is gotcha artists, right? And that's all they do.
A few moments later.
You haven't been cleaned up. You haven't been taught how to speak properly. Jamie, is it possible to take a look at a monkey? I know how to do all this stuff.
Right.
You're not getting a peer review from me. I know a lot more than you do about a lot of this stuff. You're getting an elite review.
And what you get is gotcha artists.
And my elite review says that a lot of this is bathwater.
I have the models behind what I'm talking about.
If your child needed brain surgery, would you go to Dr. Dre?
Well, that's cool, and I appreciate
No.
your offer.
No.
And that's not available anywhere. It's not available in a university. It's not available in a journey, in a journal.
You haven't been taught how to speak properly.
I have an advantage on it.
Not available in a journey, in a journal.
You haven't been taught how to speak.
I have an advantage on a journey, in a journal. That's available on the Joe Rogan Experience.
I've got models that define every aspect of that motion, and I'm waiting for it to be reviewed.
I know a lot more than you do. I'm giving you an elite review, and you're welcome. And you know, Neil's right. They will laugh you out. They will take one look at your email address. You need help. Because what you just said sounded crazy.
You need help.
You're going to get your ass kicked.
I would love that. I would love that.
I'll take some of your money. And it's like, I'm trying to be nice as pie because you have no idea.
And what you get is gotcha artists.
When you're fucking with a guy with an Italian last name and a shiny suit with a funny collar that you don't recognize. You gotta stop.
Yeah, and I see the metaphor in it. And
Can I ask you, before we go on further?
Can you bring us a linchpin?
Bing, 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 bing.
Okay. And Jamie, could I trouble you for...
And what you get is gotcha artists.
Right? There's also something called gripe and swipe, where they try to find any flaw in what you do so that they can throw you aside and then they can take every right thing that you did and put it on your name. Can you bring us a linchpin?
Bing, 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 bing.
Okay.
There's also something called gripe and swipe.
I have an entire way of thinking that is completely foreign to everyone that I know. And I've tried to understand what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Super cool stuff, and then suddenly turns into horseshit. All we want to do is get rid of you. And it's because we have this fake openness. So what I'm trying to do is I'm not pretending to be your peer.
I know a lot more than you do. I'm giving you an elite review, and you're welcome.
And the elite review, it's total hogwash. You need your ass kicked.
I would love that. I would love that.
You need some kind of humility. Stop teaching long enough to accept some help.
I'm here to accept the help.
And I'm here to learn from you because
The real story, Terrence, is going to be whether you can stop teaching.
2 seconds later.
And I'm here to learn from you.
I'll tell you something, the linchpin is a good example of something which I didn't know. I did know it, I threw it away.
I did know it, I threw it away.
You're coming across wrong. By the way, never pick a fight with Jamie Foxx. Holy shit, is that guy good at everything.
I learned that the hard way.
I want you to take a look at the chemical engineering PhD, because if we don't do that, I can't actually help you.
Oh, that right there.
Talk to me.
Let me explain that.
Yeah.
I developed a way in which to grow diamonds larger than the 2-carat diamond. I went over to South Carolina University and introducing the process into their university. They were going to give me an honorary degree.
Okay.
Now I'm thinking they're giving me an honorary degree in chemical engineering because of what I'm doing. And it's just an honorary degree in humanities.
That thing about the PhD, it's basically fraud. What I'm saying to you is, I don't give a shit. Merit is merit. I'm not an assassin. I don't care if you in part exaggerated your achievements.
The chemical engineering PhD, because if we don't do that, I can't actually help you.
I know what it feels like to be shat on. I know that you have no ability to fight what's being said to you from on high.
And my elite review says that a lot of this is bathwater.
Physics is based on everything. It's the backstabbing.
Gripe and swipe. Find any flaw in what you do so that they can throw you aside and then they can take every right thing that you did and put it under their own name.
Can you bring us a linchpin? The linchpin is a good example of something which I didn't know. It's the frauds. It's the geniuses.
Bing, 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 bing.
Okay. You start pissing my community off. But what happened is that you created a mass delusion. They start with a nub of truth. They start with creative sparks of genius. The real story, Terrence, is going to be whether you can stop teaching long enough to accept some help. But the one thing that you've got to stop doing is that when you get on a program that has millions of people, you can't create one more mass delusion. I've got a Fauci mass delusion. I've got a string theory mass delusion. I've got a Biden is fine mass delusion. I've got a Trump is not a problem mass delusion.
I've got a Trump is not a problem mass delusion.
All I have, morning, noon, and night, is mass delusion on mass delusion. But people don't understand that the reason that these mass delusions get started is that there's a nub of truth in them. QAnon can't be total bullshit because it's got some core in it that's right and some craziness. What happens when fantasy and reality intermingle? And that's what you did on the last time that you were here. And I can talk to you about the fantasy, I can talk to you about the fraud and the lies. And what I want the world to learn is you're getting sucked into mass delusions that you're not properly imagining. The mainstream is our official cult. Where you are is that you're in a world in which the number of people who are both competent and ethical enough to have the conversation is dwindling to fewer than 10.
I take you up on examining and exploring these into the areas, because like I said, these are tools. I just want to offer a new set of tools to that community so that they can now advance past the points where we are.
Try not offering, because the first thing you need to do is not necessarily be a student. It's not a higher versus lower, but just recognize that you're bringing gifts and you're bringing problems, and it's very expensive to help you. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. And one of the great things about this program is that if there is anybody out there, they can hear it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've been on this program maybe 6 times before. I am often astounded that I can reach all of planet Earth and there isn't a single soul who can hear me. And I think that one of the things you're going to have to reckon with is